Good morning, Anne.
Good morning, James.
And good morning, everybody. Hopefully, as always, you are having a wonderful weekend or a wonderful week whenever it is that you are listening. So here we are again on Sunday morning.
Yes.
Another episode. Are you happy to begin?
I am.
Brilliant. Where would you like to start this morning?
I'd like to start with our event last week, our Olympics event at the Broomwood.
Yes.
We have talked about it quite a lot.
We did. We talked about it in the build-up to the event, didn't we?
We did, and it's been advertised.
Yes. So if you are unaware, this was our community groups, Stride for Truth CIC, our community group's second summer event, Family Fun Day. It was Olympic sports themed in Altrincham at the Broomwood Centre, and it went really well, didn't it, Anne?
Very well, very well.
Yes.
And there's a couple of things I'd like to talk about.
Okay.
So the first thing I'd like to talk about was the races themselves. It's so lovely to see children that don't even know each other participating in races and things.
It really was.
But with this particular one, it wasn't just children, it was adults and children in teams together.
Yes, so we did the classic sports day races, really. Sack races, relay races, three-legged races, running races, young and old, and you're right, children, adults, family members, friends, new friends, everybody racing together and everybody cheering each other on as well.
Yes. So myself and Karen were partners.
Yes,
in
the three-legged race.
In the three-legged race.
Yes. And you can imagine what that was like. Everybody listening, I'm sure you can.
And when we got to the end,
the
end of our race, and we beat the other team by probably a toe.
By a whisker.
Yes, we did.
You did.
So James decided it was very, very close.
It was.
That, we probably should run again. But one of the boys in the team...
It was a photo finish.
The photo finish. But one of the boys in the other team...
Yes.
And he must have been about 9, that's all.
Yes.
And he said, no, they won. You don't need to do that.
You're right, he did. He told me that your team won.
Yeah.
He did.
And
he was very, very honest.
He was very honest. But then James did still ask people what they thought.
Yes.
And then
I did.
All the boys in the team started saying, no, they won.
They were absolutely honest. Yeah. I gave them the chance to make their case, and they were completely integral and said, it was close, we lost, your team won, Anne.
Except they did say, one of them did say it was close, but we won
every
more
other
than
race.
You.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, they did say that, they did.
But how wonderful that is, that in this day and age that you've got children who don't even know each other.
Yes.
That can do that and still be honest.
It was wonderfully refreshing, wasn't it?
It was heartwarming, to be honest.
It was. Young boys, and they were supporting each other in it, saying, yes, he's right. They did win it. It was fair and it was true.
Yes.
And you're right, it lifted the energy. Not that it needed lifting, but it was really heartwarming.
Yes, it was.
So, well, I don't know if they would be listening. If you are the parent or parents of those young boys and you do happen to listen to this, you should be really proud of them. And thank you for raising the children that way. And thank you to those young boys for being so honest, because that is an example to us all.
Yes. And I'd like to talk about one of the other participants.
Okay.
We do FunFit on a Wednesday, which we have spoken about before.
We have our FunFit fitness classes on a Wednesday, yes.
At 7:30.
Yes.
And I have to go, to be able to talk about this, I have to go back really in time, is that we had a young man called, well, he's not a young man to be honest, a man called Michael, who came to join us on a Saturday.
He did. He does. Yes.
And yes. So he's been coming to see us, and his sister brought him for the first time. And Michael's Polish.
He is.
And lived in Poland, and his mother died a couple of years ago, and he now spends time with 3 sisters.
Yes.
So his main language is Polish.
Yes.
But he speaks English beautifully.
Yes.
Yeah, so, and he's very, very determined.
Very determined, yes.
And Michael is a Down syndrome young man.
Yes.
So this is why I'm saying it. And the reason I want to talk about this is because I am so in awe of his sisters, to be honest, and his parents who brought him up.
Okay.
Because we in this country seem to be hooked on special needs.
Right.
In many areas. I'm not just talking about a Down's syndrome or
Right.
any other, but it's whether it's special needs with ADHD, with
Categories and labels.
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Yes.
I understand what you're trying to say. And I'm sure everybody listening...
So the
gets the
labels,
gist.
the labels have always bothered me. I don't like labels.
You feel
at
they
all.
get in the way?
Absolutely, I feel they get in the way, but nobody has to agree with me with that. But the reason I'm saying this is that
Yes.
Michael's such a pleasure to be around.
Right.
Because he's very, very honest.
He is.
Totally honest.
He is.
What he doesn't like, he lets us know.
Yes, he does.
And what he does like, it's with joy.
It is absolute joy.
Yes. Just as an example, he came in this Wednesday.
He did.
And the class before us is always late getting out. And he came in and he goes, I'm here. Why are they still in there? And puts his head round.
Yes.
So they shouldn't be there.
Yes.
So he knows what he thinks is right is right.
He's extremely intelligent as well,
Yes,
isn't he?
he is, yes.
Extremely intelligent.
So Michael, and this is why I'm saying it is because he came to help us with the event.
He did.
And he took part in the 3-legged race, in the
Sack race.
Sack race.
He took part in every race.
In every race.
Yes.
And then when he'd finished, he went into the room where we were doing drinks and he was sat writing
Yes.
in a book.
Yes, in a notebook.
And I went over and I said to him, do you mind if I look what you're writing, Michael? And he looks at me and he makes his mind up. You see it, his mind moving.
Yes.
Whether he trusts you
Yes.
or not to look at his book. So he said yes. And he shouts very loud when he speaks, yes.
Yes.
So I was looking at this book and I was amazed. The most beautiful writing in English.
I saw it as well. Wonderful.
Yeah.
No, not wonderful. Well, wonderful story.
Yes.
Fascinating story. Interesting story. Beautiful handwriting. Joined up writing.
Yes.
In his second language. And it may not even be his second language. It could be his third or his fourth language. But certainly 2 languages as Polish speaker and now an English speaker. But he can write in English. Full sentences, grammar. Beautifully joined up handwriting. It was...
Writing a novel.
I
Not
know.
just writing,
It's
a novel.
It's a wow, to be honest with you, for anybody. And
Yes.
and I suppose I'm stating the obvious, and I hope sincerely that it's absolutely clear that this is not with any special treatment or patronising in any way, shape or form. It's genuinely inspiring by anybody's standards, genuinely impressive. His determination, his intelligence, and he's a joy, isn't he? He's an absolute
he is a
joy
joy.
because he brings such enthusiasm and such happiness and eagerness to our fun fit classes. It certainly makes myself, and
Yes.
I feel it makes everybody else enjoy ourselves more and
Yes.
forget our worries and really get stuck in. So what an example, what a wonderfully good example he is.
Yeah. And so the reason for me saying this is that I think we've become a nation of mollycoddling.
Right.
This is why I'm saying it, is that
Okay.
why if somebody has a label do we treat them any differently? And he's not treated any different, not by us, not by his family, or anybody else. So the question is to all of you, and not just really in general, is are we too soft? Are we not looking for the full potential in our children?
Giving people the opportunity. We've spoken about this before,
Yes.
haven't we? About responsibility and
Yes.
giving children responsibility and allowing them to grow
Yes.
with that responsibility to grow as individuals.
Yes.
And treating each person, all of you listening and
Yes.
everybody else, as an individual rather than as a label
Yes.
or what is written down on a piece of paper by, it could be somebody in the medical profession or somebody in the educational profession, which in the specific areas are really important pieces of feedback, but they aren't the total whole sum of a person. An adult is an adult, and an adult can take responsibility, obviously to varying degrees, dependent upon all of our makeups in terms of personality and life situation. But you're right, Anne. Why can't we, everybody, be given the opportunity when it arises to take responsibility and be as independent and self-determining as possible? And we should encourage that in ourselves, and we should encourage that in everybody else, and allow that to take place rather than hindering it, stopping it, limiting it. Is that what you're saying?
I am saying that, but I'm saying it from experience. I'm
Okay.
not just saying it. This is the point. I'm not just saying it because I'm very dyslexic. I'm dyspraxic and lots of other things, to be honest.
Right, okay.
But I've had to cope with that all my life and deal with it
Yes.
in the best way I can, because there were no labels when I was little. I didn't even know that I was any different, that I can't see words. I'm an avid reader, but just because I can't see words the same as other people do, I can't spell. That's the point. But because the words are jumbled up, and so are numbers.
Yes.
But it didn't stop me qualifying in nursing, in orthodontics, or teaching in a college, because I myself learnt to adapt.
And it brought out strengths in other areas.
Lots of strengths.
The more time I spent in education, and the more time I spend around people, and the more time I spend self-reflecting, self-observing, and this includes in the world, everybody, the more I would say it's true that there is a spectrum on there in terms of different presentations of different ways of thinking. They call it neurodiversity. And I would say it's absolutely true. And we are all on it. And we all
Every one of
have
us.
differing personalities,
Yes.
and at certain moments, dependent upon the pressures of life, whether it be to do with time or people or space or noise or food or colour, and a complete myriad of other possible factors, limitless factors in truth, we present behaviours that could be and often are on some form of spectrum, under some form of neurodiversity, alternative way of thinking, behaving, acting, some form of personality type, and or all of that, something else. So I feel really that's the human condition, and we are discovering ourselves that we are more complex than we thought, we are more nuanced than we thought, and yet it's still affecting all of us at the same time. So there is a commonality there as well as an individuation. This beautiful paradox continues, that we are all different, we are all individuals, and yet we all have so much in common with each other. Even our idiosyncrasies, our foibles, our fears, our mishaps, our problems. Although the systems that we have, and I think this is the issue, the systems that we have in education and in the workplace and the way that life has been structured has meant that certain ways of thinking and certain skill sets have been more prominent, whereas other types of intelligence and other ways of thinking haven't. And I hope the doors are opening now, that for children who maybe don't feel that they think and act in a way that could be in the past and maybe even still today deemed to be intelligent, that they are encouraged and recognised as early as possible that their intelligence presents itself in a different way, and their skill set presents itself in a different way, creatively, practically, verbally, or all of that, or something else. And we are encouraging the full spectrum of development, the full spectrum of the magnificence that is the human experience, the human being, through all children. That's what I would like to see. I would like to see it being accepted that there is neurodiversity, that people do think differently. And isn't that a wonderful thing? I feel the issue from what you have said this morning as well, Anne, is that we are treating it as a weakness, and we are becoming fixated on labelling it rather than just dealing with you are Anne, in terms of that is your name, you're an individual, You're not the same as any other person who has similar type ways of thinking. Each person's an individual, and each person has gifts and talents and a beautiful blueprint that is unique to you. And all of you listening, you are an individual. Nobody is quite like you. Nobody can replace you. This world can't be the same without you. So as ordinary as we can all feel at times, and as insignificant and fading into the background as many people feel that they do, you are unique. You are special in that way. And something in this world wouldn't be the way that it is. No. The world wouldn't be the way that it is. And I'm talking about something tremendously good and true and valuable. And I hope that makes sense to you all listening, and to you, Anne, and to everybody.
You're saying, and what you're saying is dealing with it. But that's what we're not allowing. We're not allowing the individual to deal with it themselves.
To flourish. It's not just a problem, it's an invitation for growth.
Yeah, we're trying to make them the same as everybody else, and nobody is the same as everybody else.
I feel that's where the inadequacies start, when children are trying to be pigeonholed or round pegs and square holes, because the brain and the thought processes don't work in certain ways. Yeah. And that can cause huge problems and inadequacies and doubt and fear.
And that can cause bullying as well, because the children are being told they should be a certain way.
Yes.
And that can create bullying because they're not that certain way. But you talked about colour then before, just in the conversation you were saying, you talked about colour.
Yeah.
When I was doing
the spectrum of colour I'm talking about.
No, but the colour brought a memory. A memory to me that when I did my teacher training, we used to go to St Anne's.
Again, St Anne's.
St Anne's, yes. We used to go to a hotel there and stay for the weekend.
Right.
They taught us how to make teaching aids for the students to help them.
Yes, I understand.
And one day we were doing colour. You know, how will colour help in your classrooms? Even though I was doing reflexology. But they were trying to get us to have aids, which doesn't seem to happen anymore. Well, it doesn't happen anymore. So one of the people there, one of the gentlemen there was blind and had been blind from birth.
Right.
And we were doing colour.
Okay.
And I watched this man and I thought, what's he going to do with this? We're talking about colour. This man's been blind from birth. I wonder how it's affecting him. So we had a break at coffee time, and we had this break, and I went to him and I said to him, can I ask you about, we're doing this about colour.
Right.
How does it affect you? So he said, I know colour, Anne. So I said, well, how do you know colour? You're telling me that you've been blind, you've told me you're blind from birth.
Right.
So he said, nobody's completely blind.
Ah.
He said, everybody sees shadows. He said, you're not completely blind. So you can see shadows, but you can't see colour. So I said, so how do you know colour? So he said, because colour is a vibration.
Right. Yes, light is a vibration.
Yeah,
yes,
so he said colour. Colour's
a
vibration, so I know the vibration of colour. So I said, well, would you teach me how you know colours?
Right.
And I had the most wonderful experience with this man, learning how to sense colour with my eyes closed.
That is fascinating. It really is fascinating.
It is, yeah.
Yes.
Which led me to be able to do workshops for other people, to make them understand a vibration.
Wow, it really is. It's one that lots of people, and maybe you listening, would automatically be highly sceptical of.
Yes.
But I automatically start to think along the lines of hypersensitivity and hypersensual awareness. I've heard many a story, obviously I haven't, well maybe it isn't obvious, but I haven't experienced it myself. So I mean to be respectful to all of you or anybody listening who does have senses that are not as strong as others, that when it may be your sight, your sound, your taste or something is dulled in some way, or maybe you're deaf or blind or whatever it might be, that your other senses are heightened and you have an awareness that is hypersensitive, hyper aware, and maybe the ability to feel colour is something that sounds, well, ridiculous, maybe is a little bit disrespectful and strong, but it's hard to see that being a reality. But actually the science might well be there if we think about it along the lines of the vibration of light presents at different colours at different points of the spectrum of light, and that if we have a hyper awareness that we're able to sense and feel the vibrations and this would be highly sensitive in a way that we haven't really discovered or a way of recording it, but in terms of the possibility, it is there because
because everybody can do it.
Everybody can do it.
When I've done the workshops, everybody goes home doing it.
We are all doing it now, those of
Yes.
us who are seeing with eyes, because that's what our eyes are doing. Our eyes are able to pick up colour because of the vibration of light. And we're able to discern the different vibrations of light and project that and see within ourselves, so to speak, colour difference, the spectrum of colour.
Yes.
So we already do that. We already have the apparatus.
We do, and we were talking about it, weren't we, in the last workshop that we did. And we were talking about nerves. I was doing the nervous system.
You were, yes.
And I was saying the optic nerve isn't attached to the brain.
No, it's so fascinating.
And that's what I was saying. And I was then saying, challenging the students there. If it's not, what are you seeing with?
Ooh.
And that is interesting, isn't it? Because they also say the eyes are the mirror of the soul.
It's so interesting that's a poetic, mystic truth, isn't it? Mystical, poetic truth. Whimsical sounding, but might be more truer than people realise.
Yes, very true, because we can't, we don't, the point is, you look into, sometimes when you're looking in somebody's eyes, love, when you look in somebody's eyes and you see their soul, and you see the love they're giving you.
You see the light behind the eyes.
The light behind the eyes, yes.
And you can also see when somebody's poorly, or when they're sad. If you observe people's eyes, the eyes really do present the information.
They do.
And we can also see if somebody's smiling with the eyes.
Yes.
The eyes really are.
So if they're smiling with the mouth, you know very well they're not smiling at you.
Because the eyes don't light up.
Yes.
You can see the smile to the corner of the eye, or if it's just the mouth, you know that it's a placed smile.
And when you see a child smiling or a child laughing,
there's no greater sound than a child laughing.
No.
That's one of the most, if not the most gorgeous sounds.
Yes.
In the whole cosmos, in the whole of creation ever. Period. Fact. As far as I'm concerned, it is gorgeous to hear a child laughing uncontrollably, where they just keep rolling and rumbling with laughter.
Yes. And everybody around them's laughing, but nobody knows what they're laughing at.
I know. If there was a sound of heaven, that would be one of them. Or maybe it is, shall I say, excuse me, a frog in my throat. A frog in my throat, there you go. Still jumping up and down. Yes, a young child laughing particularly is just gorgeous.
A baby laughing.
Oh, it's so gorgeous.
A baby's first laugh.
It can evaporate all fears and concerns in an instant. It's quite possibly one of the most healing, beautiful experiences there is. And you can't manufacture it because either the laugh is genuine or it's not. It's not like us or somebody else that can feign a laugh or sort of make ourselves laugh.
I think it's what we're losing. I look at this world and I see how it is at the moment.
Right.
And I think one of the things that we are losing is that, and I'm not saying this against anybody at all. I don't mean it like this, because I don't know everybody's circumstances.
Right.
But parents now go out to work when the child is a few months old.
Right, okay. Parents going back to work.
Going back to work very quickly.
Yes, okay.
And I'm not saying anything about that, because they may have to do that because of finances.
Yes.
I don't, so I'm not...
Yes, you're not passing judgment on anybody's life
on
situation.
Anybody. But when I look at the situation, those parents are missing the first of many things.
Potentially,
They don't see the child walk.
Yes.
They don't see that laugh. The first things of your child are so precious.
They are.
And they lose out on so much themselves. Is the world becoming too narrow now that work is becoming more important than life?
I don't think it is. I think for certain individuals it is. I think we have, quite possibly, and you may well be right, my initial thoughts are we're living in a time of extremes.
Yes.
So we have people that are work shy and reluctant to work, and more people are slow to return to work,
Yes.
or resistant to work in offices or back to places of work. They're working at home.
Yes.
So there is a work shy culture growing,
Yes.
at the same time as workaholics and more people working ridiculous amounts of hours and essentially working themselves to ill health, stress, and an early grave, so to speak. It's like a period of extremes and extremity, such extremes. But I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it, I suppose. But you may well be right in what you say. There's definitely truth in what you say.
Yes.
That life is taking people away from what's most important. What's most important. But if nobody worked at all, that would cause many problems as well.
Yes. But when I was
Potentially.
when I was growing up,
Yes.
and my father came back from the war and he went back to English Steel,
Right.
everybody and all the because I was in Bradford, Manchester, so it was all factories.
Okay.
Now those factories all work set hours. So
Yes.
the men worked set hours. So they had Wednesdays that were overtime.
Yes.
They worked till 7:00, and they got paid time and a half.
Right.
They weren't taxed on the half pay
Okay.
because that was overtime.
Yeah.
They worked Saturday morning for double time,
Right.
and they weren't taxed on that.
So there were incentives, financial incentives to...
They did piecework.
Right, okay.
So my dad was a turner, so how much he produced,
Yes.
if you produced over a certain amount,
Yes.
you got paid for that.
Yes.
Then everybody had the Wakes Week. So they had a Wakes Week where you had a week off, at Whit Week,
Right.
and the last week in July and the first week in August.
Yes.
So was that a better life that everybody knew in all factories and all work? They knew when they were working.
Was
they
that
had
a
the
more
option.
structured life, you mean?
Yes, in a way, yeah.
A more routined life?
Yeah. But everybody was the same. They had the option to earn extra money.
A
and
greater
less
job,
tax.
a greater job security, a simpler
Well, was
life,
it an
maybe.
incentive? That's what I'm saying. There's no incentives now.
That it was also a much more industrial life.
Oh, absolutely.
This country, the United Kingdom, produced a lot more. Manufacturing was much more prevalent, and
Yes.
industry and British industries were much more prevalent.
Yes.
We live in a time where very little is made, physically, tangibly made.
Best English steel.
It's
in the world.
it's a time of goods and services being digitalised, finance, very little industry compared to the past.
Yes.
The past you're talking about is going on, really. We don't make very much.
So the joy's been taken
Physically
out
make
of
very
life,
much.
really. Because that was a joy. Producing something was a joy.
There is something truly joyful and fulfilling about seeing something come to fruition, and you can physically, tangibly see it and touch it. So
Yes.
it being physically present in the world rather than just
Yes.
something digitalized being online. Yes, I would agree with you. Soul, you can feel it.
Yes.
Human made, there's something beautiful about human made.
Yes.
Again, a conversation maybe for another podcast. And as we
Yes.
are coming towards the end, again, half an hour has
Yeah.
gone so quickly. It
We have-
always does,
yeah.
doesn't it?
We have to remember, for me, I would like everybody to remember that we are in danger of losing soul if we don't bring it back.
Yes.
The joy, if we don't bring back the joy in life,
Yes.
we will lose soul.
I agree. And just on that, maybe to finish with,
Yes.
Anne, I would say if we shift our focus away from everything being perfect and
Yes.
error-free, so no mistakes as a goal, which leads to ever increased technological evolution
Yes.
and such abstractions, as artificial intelligence, whereas humanity will produce mistakes, that we shift towards an authenticity, a sincerity, and a truth of genuineness, which will have mistakes, which in a sense is a higher truth because it reflects an imperfect nature that can bring beauty into this world. And it's beautiful because it isn't perfect in that it's error-free. It's beautiful because it's true. It says something about the truth that's within inside a human being and the majesty that can come forth from a human being in art, in literature, in food, in architecture, in all manner of industry and art and conversation and dance and music and everything else.
Yes.
The human being can create imperfection but beauty.